It's the same music playing again. Oh, I'm surprised to see you here on a day other than Sunday. That's something I want to ask Takano. Is she here today? No, she must be on a date with Risa-san. I wish I had a date too. Why do you call him Risa? I don't understand. You should ask him yourself. It was a small mistake I made when we first met. It was funny how he reacted. I don't get it. That's what nicknames are all about, though. What did you want to talk to her about? I'll see her at the meeting tonight, so I'll take a message if you want. Thank you very much, but I'd rather talk to her directly. I see, alright. I should get back to my work now then. Are you not seeing any patients today? I've been busy with paperwork for the meeting tonight. I've been preparing it for a while, but I didn't have enough time. I'll get in trouble if it's not finished in time. Aren't you busy coaching the baseball team too? You have so much energy. I'm sure you're such a busy guy. I've been looking for a cute mate who would take care of their chores and help me with all the work, but I've had no such luck. He laughed and looked at his watch. He seemed to be in a hurry. Do you have any idea where Takano is right now? They're probably going around to different places in the village. I know that they always meet at the shrine. She left not too long ago, so she might still be somewhere near there. I looked at the clock on the wall. I might have just missed her. This was no time to be chatting with Irie. Thank you very much. I'll try the shrine. You shouldn't bother those lovers since they only see each other 4 times a year. He smiled miserably and waved his hand in goodbye. I headed back to the shrine. I was going to park my bike by the stairs that lead to the shrine grounds. Sadako and I are the only people who park our bikes there normally, but I saw more than 10 bikes there today. People must be gathering at the convention room. There are more and more meetings when the Tanagashi Festival draws closer. Seeing all these bikes reminded me that summer's nearly here. Most of the bikes were old and beat up. However, I saw 2 unfamiliar ones parked there. They were sporty mountain bikes with the same design but different colors. They must belong to Takano and Tomitake. I went up the stairs to look for the 2 of them, but I couldn't find either. Was there any place with a great view for taking pictures? I tried looking in places like that, but I still couldn't find them. So I started looking based on what Takano might be interested in. I could only think of one place. How is it, Shiro-san? It's a pretty simple lock. All I need is the right tool. I should be able to open it in a minute. Was that the voice I gave Tomitake? It has been forever since I voiced Tomitake. You can do that. You open the lock to my heart, but that's not the only thing you're good at, huh? I'm going to keep no, that's probably Rika now. I'm going to curse you. The 2 of them jumped in surprise as I suddenly appeared in front of them. Hello, Rika-chan. It wasn't nice of you to scare us like that. It's not nice to try and open the ritual storehouse's lock either. She's right, Takano-san. We can't do something like that. Tomitake conceded right away, but Takano was stubborn. She made up excuses to try and fool me. Based on my previous lives, I knew just how much interest she had in this storehouse. It was actually rather impressive how hard she tried to cover that up. The ritual storehouse is full of the remainder of the dark history of Onagafuchi. It contains bloody and vicious tools that Takano is fascinated with. She should have a good idea as to what those things are inside of this storehouse, based on what she has been researching. She was making up some story about cultural treasures and such, but it was obvious that she was just making excuses. Tomitake also seemed impressed, listening to Takano's phony justifications. In the past, I've tried to conceal what was inside of this storehouse from Takano because I don't want her spreading information about the holy and brutal traditions they used to have in Onagafuchi village. It would be a disgrace. As a member of the Fruity family, I can't let that happen. Looking at the history of Onikafuchi and the way Takano does is a painful thing for Hanyuu as well. For Hanyuu, the ritual storehouse is a special place. I don't know what's so nice about being surrounded by those scary ritual tools, but she seems cozy when she's surrounded by the smell of old times. The storage is like Hanyuu's hideout. When I can't see her, she's usually relaxing in here. I don't want Hanyuu's happy place to be turned into the bloody horrifying den of evil Takano believes it to be. That's why I've been keeping Takano away from the ritual storehouse. Come to think of it, why am I so mean to her? Is it because I hate her? I should stop feeling that way. I have to keep in close contact with Takano and Tomitake. I won't give up just because it didn't work before. I'm going to try one more time. This world is different from the other ones. I might be able to change their fate, which in turn might change my own. Hanyuu, I'm thinking about showing the ritual storehouse to Takano. Ow, ow, ow. Hanyuu made an irritated face. Takano will lose herself in ecstasy if she sees what's inside of there. She'll run around spreading rumors of the bloody history of Onikafuchi. Hanyuu wasn't too excited about that prospect. I'm not trying to curry favor with Takano, but I think it might give me a chance to talk to her. Takano holds on to grudges, so if I'm mean to her now, she might not listen to me later. Ow, 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 ow. I understood that sound that Hanyuu doesn't want her inside this holy place, but she can't do anything more than be irritated about it. I'm the only one who can make the ultimate decision. Besides, she'll forgive me if I promise to eat something sweet later. Besides, in the other arcs, it always gets in there anyway. Presumably, because like in Mitanagashi and Makashi, we saw all that she was able to get in there with Tomitake, and it also had Keiichi and Shion accompanying them in that arc. Well, those arcs. Takano, if you will keep it a secret, I'll let you in. Really? Inside the ritual storehouse? You don't mean inside an emergency shelter, right? I mean it. I'll let you into the ritual storehouse. You mean this storehouse? Inside of this building? I'm not trying to trick you or anything. I'll let you inside. I had never seen such a big smile on her face before. Now, this is a miracle. I'm seeing this face for the first time in 100 years. Tomitake must be feeling the same way. His image of Takano was slowly falling apart as we spoke, I'm sure. No, maybe he just found a new side of her to love instead. I'm surprised that Takano is actually such a funny person. Communication is important. It's something so hard to tell when people are all about. We remained there and watched Takano spinning in delight for a while. I remember the anime adaptation of that, and she does indeed spin on the spot, going Nippa! This is a secret, so no one can see us going inside. You're right. I'll try and calm her down. Wait, no, that's gotta be, Tomitake. You're right. I'll try to calm her down. I'll go get the keys now. Or maybe, no, it would have to have been Tomitake. I mean, what would Hanyuu be able to do to calm her down? By the time I came back with the key, Takano was totally calm again. She was obviously trying to hide how gleeful she was, though. I thought she was a mature lady, but she might still be a kid at heart. I think they call that something like gap moe. I picked that term up at some point from Keiichi, but I'm still not sure how it's used. Well then, Takano and Tomitake, before we go inside, you must promise me something. Otherwise I can't go in. Of course. You're willing to break the rules to open the Forbidden Storehouse for us. We'll keep our promises. Bonus on you. Have to take this seriously. I am taking it seriously. My image of Takano is falling to pieces right now. Same here. Her market is crashing all over the world. Ren has said it before. It's not a good idea to think about problems all on your own. I always hated the crazy part of Takano and I didn't want to be close to her. But I never thought she could act this way. She was acting almost like Ren does when in her cute mode. Had I known that she was as funny a person as this, I wouldn't have felt resentment towards her. I realized how important communication be. First of all, you have to promise you won't tell anybody that you went inside the storehouse. Do not tell anyone. Of course I won't, I'll promise. Takano put her hands to her chest. She also forced Tomitake to do the same. It was funny to watch Tomitake trying to keep up with Takano too. Also, you can't damage anything inside the storehouse. Of course not. Is it okay if I take pictures? Meep. You can, but I'll charge 100 yen per picture. What? How much money do you have on you right now, Jiro-san? If you pay me 10,000 yen, you can take all the photos you want. That's a good deal, I'll take it, Jiro-san! I mean, yes, like, if you're gonna let them in, make a profit as well, I guess. They paid me the money for real. And you seemed excited knowing that the money could be used for buying desserts. That's all you care about. Oh. Takano is such a nice person. You're so greedy. I finally got approval from Oyashiro-sama, the master of the storehouse. We'd have no more problems now. So, tell me that this deity, Oyashiro-sama, right here, Hanyuu, she's like, nobody gets to go in the storehouse. This is my personal space. Just hand over 10,000 yen and be like, okay, you can go. Just has a high entry price. The ritual storehouse is behind the building with the convention room. Sometimes people come out for a cigarette break. I can't let anybody see us entering. You're good, no one is around. Tomitake checked out the scene and gave me the signal to go ahead. I nodded at him and unlocked the door. I pushed open the heavy door just far enough for us to sneak inside. It looks suspicious if you wait outside like that. What? I can come inside too? He seemed surprised that I was asking him to come inside first. Tomitake, of course, wasn't particularly interested in what was inside the storehouse. I expected his surprised reaction. Shiro-san, Rika-chan is telling you to come inside. Come on now. Alright. Tomitake squeezed inside as Takano urged him. I turned the light on and closed the door. Then I put the chain on from inside. You're locking us in. Just so that a bad kitty won't sneak inside, you know. Are you talking about me? Takano, a cat is supposed to call meow meow. Nippa! You know what? It's like, we're out of Rika's perspective now, so we kind of get, like, her character a lot more. If you think about, like, in previous arcs, like, sometimes she acts a bit odd, like, remember the time where she, like, I think it was, in Watanagashi, where Rika was, like, saying stuff like that, using, like, a kind of bad kitty kind of, as an example kind of thing for what had happened. And, like, it just, like, has a different tone to it when it's from a different character's perspective, doesn't it? Because you don't really know what the full intentions are. What do you mean? If you don't act like a cat, I'm not going to let you see what's in here. I brought cat ears in a collar with a bell for you, too. If you don't put them on get on all fours and meow, then I won't open the next door. The shrine storehouse has two doors so that people can't see inside when the first door is opened. At that moment, we were inside the entry chamber. The real storehouse is in the room beyond. What? That's a bad joke, Rika-chan. You wouldn't really... Huh? What the hell? I'll do it if I have to. You're testing me to see how devoted I am to my research, aren't you, Rika-chan? Fine. If that's what you want, then I'll wear cat ears, feathers, and a tail, crawl on all fours, and please let me drink your milk, master. She definitely would have joined that club if she was around her age. Well, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? I agree. Hey, remember how they said shredded stocks fell like snow on Wall Street during the Great Crash? Darkness value right now reminds me of that. Bring it on, Rika-chan. Are you sure I only have to wear the ears and the collar? Takano-san, this door isn't even locked. See, push and it opens. Really? My dear, how shameful of me. Tomitake has no sense of humor. He just turned off a lot of viewers who were looking forward to seeing Takano in the cat outfit. Just like they could have drawn a portrait design for her and everything. I mean, they've done that for all the characters when they have the punishments. Wait, is this Rika now, or... Anyways, right, you just have to push it. Nippa! Once we went through the door, we found ourselves inside the storage area. There were no windows in there, so it was completely dark even during the day. There were several light bulbs hanging from the ceiling, but they were dim and their lights only exaggerated the darkness inside. Oyashiro-sama statue and the altar dominated the center of the room. They were surrounded by tons of ancient torture implements. They were all over the floor, walls, and ceiling. It looked like a torture room rather than just storage for tools intended for one. This is amazing. Tomitake was rendered speechless. They were nothing like those fake torture implements that they might have seen in a wax museum or someplace like that. The tools in this room are the genuine articles. I never like to think about it, but I'm sure some of them really were used. These authentic tools always have a big impact on the people who see them. But Tomitake was the only one who was shocked, since he was the only normal person in the room. It's like, yeah, Takano, she's not a normal person. Takano's eyes were sparkling, and she was taking pictures while meowing like a cat. This place isn't special to me. Of course I know I'm supposed to treat it as a holy place, but I'm so used to seeing all these things after coming here countless times since I was little. To me, it's nothing but a storehouse with a lot of old stuff inside. So Hanyuu says it's the only place the air from times past lingers in this present day, so she actually finds it comforting. I get in a good mood when I come here because Hanyuu gets in a good mood. This is a relaxing place for her. As I watched Tomitake's reaction, I noticed how totally off my value are from normal people's. Takano's reaction seemed more natural to me, in a sense. Hanyuu seemed to be bothered by Tomitake's reaction too. Maybe it was a bad idea to let him come inside after all. Not like I could kick him out at this point. Hanyuu and I sat on a cushion in front of the altar and watched Takano dance with childish glee while Tomitake made touching efforts to keep up. I wonder why they made so many torture implements. The whole purpose of torture is to make people confess something, right? Why was it necessary to have them for them to have so many? Churro-san, do you know that there are two ways to threaten people with torture implements? The first one is to inflict pain on the victim. The other way is to threaten the victim by just showing him the tools. In that sense, having a countless number of them can give tremendous fear to the victim. I've heard that torture requires skill. I suppose it's hard to really hurt people without killing them. Tomitake acted like he's having a conversation with Takano, but his voice was obviously unsteady. Who's speaking now? Just got a voice there as Takano, just assume. Some Western torture implements were so vicious that if they're really used on the victim, they would have killed him instantly. Besides, there are two types of torture implements. First, there are simple tools that are simply used to make the victim confess. The other type is for entertaining those who are watching the torture. I'm frustrated that some people can't tell the difference between those two. Let me ask you, what were you trying to gain from the victims by using these tools? What were they, I mean? Tomitake asked me that, he must have thought that Takano would say something far more scary if he asked her. He's forgetting that I'm just a little innocent girl. I think they were forcing the victims to obey the rules for Nakafuchi village. That's what I believe. Am I right? Yes, you are. Most of these tools were never built for actual use. They were simply displayed in front of the villagers to intimidate them. That's why there are records saying that they were actually tried to use them. Some of them were the wrong size or simply malfunctioned. So they really did use some of them then. That's not a pleasant story. I can't tell if it's Rika talking or Takano. Some people were just not obedient despite the threat of oyashiro-sama's curse. Yeah, that was Rika. Hey Rika-chan, are you sure these tools were mainly used to intimidate people in the village? I've heard that they were used for cooking and dissecting during the real Watanagashi. Hanyuu was making a frustrated face. She didn't want to remember the dark history of Onagafuchi village. People performed countless torture ceremonies in front of her, claiming that they were doing it in her name, the name of oyashiro-sama. She asked them not to do that, but no one was able to hear or see her. No comment. She always talked to me about it too. Long ago, the villagers wanted Onagafuchi would receive a divine message, go down to the front of the mountain, kidnap people and eat them, right? I wonder why they did that. Was it a display of force or something? I believe it was a type of ceremony to make them all realize they were higher on the food chain. The greatest outspoken reasons Onagafuchi forbids intermingling with outsiders were that the village was a holy land, and they were transcendents, greater beings than humans. Mingling with tainted humans will bring corruption. That's what they were taught, so they probably needed to reaffirm the idea that they were above humans at regular intervals. So basically, lords of interbreeding and shit like that, I guess. Is she still speaking? In Japan there was a tradition of displaying severed heads on pikes, which, while such a warning is inhumane, it's an extremely good detergent. That must have been Tomitake, or it could have been Rika. No, wasn't that Vlad the Impaler's kind of shtick as well? Just like shoving like his enemies' heads on a pike, or something like that. The victim was brutally tortured in public, and then they were eaten alive. What would you think if you saw something like that? Anyone would simply think that they wouldn't want to be in that same situation. There's also a history of crucifixion in this country. They hung the victim and stabbed him with spears in front of an audience. I mean, jeez. It's like thinking like that. It's just like, I remember seeing a video the other day. I think it was the Geographics channel. It's like, I can't remember the name of the island, but it was titled something like Starling's Cannibal Island or something like that. And it was nasty, man. I mean, jeez. That bit at the top where it's like, you know, and then they were eaten alive. That actually doesn't seem like hearing that about that is like, maybe it's not quite far from reality. That's something like that could actually happen. It's like, ooh, nasty. Now, people don't really die from being stabbed once or twice. They might have a chance to die if they were stabbed in the stomach or chest, but it's not instant like a guillotine. They bled from their wounds, their guts were pulled out, and they eventually died by drowning in their own blood. In that sense, the guillotine is such a merciful tool. Did you know? The guillotine was invented for the nobility. It was invented because they were able to die instantly, which wasn't the case with shooting or hanging. Nobles got special treatment all the way up to death. There's no black and white movie that I know of. It's a love story set during the French Revolution, but the final guillotine scene is the best part. Nobles are lined up and bound in chains, and they get publicly executed on the guillotine one by one. What film is she referring to? Snap. Next. Snap. Next. Snap. Human lives are taken away like they're on a conveyor belt. There's no last words or prayers or anything. Snap. Next. Snap. It's not even that entertaining because it's over in a flash. No one holds any sentiments for the deaths. The audience enjoys how the nobles' heads are sliced off like vegetables. It's like a show to them. I think it's more respectful to kill someone slowly and brutally. That way people will pay a little more attention to them, right? Oyashiro-sama here was the one who made this brutal torture possible. Takano raises her hands to honor the statue of Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama is just an idol created by human beings. That idol was worshipped with fear and made divine. Yes, people laid the bricks of his church with rules and doctrines, stripping it with the mortar of curses and malediction. As they stacked and stacked those bricks up high, its height reached up to heaven, and their god was placed above it all. Gods are born because people desire them. So when people seek to rule others with fear, they become the collection of blood, torture, and pure terror. And here they call that god oyashiro-sama. In other words, this proves that the stairs to godhood are built not by gods, but by human hands, and shows the way for us humans to attain further heights. And her passionate lecture was interrupted by a loud noise. As I looked back, Hanyuu was jumping up and down with her eyes full of tears. She was stomping the floor as hard as she could, making a loud noise instead of screaming out with her unheard voice. However, it's all amounted to the same thing. Hanyuu cannot be heard by people. That's not right, I'm not like that. Hanyuu. So it's pretty much like a case where it's like, no, the deity actually exists and is completely nothing like what you'd expect. I hate seeing people getting tortured or killed. I want people to be happy together. Of course not everything is perfect, but I never asked people to do such horrible things. Hanyuu, you are who you are. Oyashiro-sama has nothing to do with you. That's not right. Ow, I hate Takano, I hate her. She always says horrible things about me. She's a bully. And think back to Watanagashi and Minagoroshi in the scene where Takano, Tomitake, Keiichi, and Shion went into the storage. If you remember, Shion talked to Keiichi, was just like, did you hear these weird noises back there? And it gets even more from her perspective in Minagoroshi, we see a lot more of that perspective, so we actually see it with all the hearing of So from that you can gather that Hanyuu was there and was not happy with Takano, retelling all these horrible stories and all that in the name of Oyashiro-sama and all that. So she did not approve of that. Was it a bad idea for me to bring Takano in here? I knew that Takano would get overstimulated and say something like this. Fortunately, Hanyuu's rejection indirectly reached Takano and she stopped lecturing. Somehow Tomitake had heard the noise that Hanyuu had made. He pressed his finger in front of his lips and told Takano to be quiet. What is it? Well, I just heard a sound like a child was jumping around. Might be a child somewhere near this building. It's yeah, they they can hear sometimes like that, it's like Rika said and all that. But in the case of Watanagashi and Minagoroshi, it just added to Shion's already growing paranoia at that point, really, wasn't it? Really? I didn't hear anything. I'm sure I heard it. Takano-san, we're in here in secrets. I think you should look around without making any noise. Takano seemed disappointed, but Tomitake was right. She had no choice but to be quiet. Well, Hanyuu was probably thankful for Tomitake telling her to shut up there. In the nicest way possible, of course. Tomitake, there are no children around this place. Are you sure? You didn't hear it either. I'm sure I heard a noise. I heard it too, but it wasn't coming from outside the building. It was jumping right behind me. I guess you heard it from far away, but it was very loud to me. I was standing in front of the altar and a statue of Oyashiro-sama was right behind me. Tomitake seemed freaked out after hearing what I just told him. It's yeah, make him paranoid, why don't you? Not like anything like that ever goes wrong in the Higurashi series. Although he was trying to fake a smile, his face was turning pale. However, Takano didn't seem scared at all. Takano, you can't say things that would upset Oyashiro-sama in front of him. Oyashiro-sama is very angry now. Can you hear his voice? It's like, refer to Oyashiro-sama as a male, but it's a girl. It's fortunate that she can't, to be honest. Even if she heard it, it would be nothing but tears. My job as a shrine maiden to begin with is to tell humans what Oyashiro-sama is feeling. I'm responsible for speaking on Hanyuu's behalf. Takano must have realized that I was very serious about what I just said. She apologized to me right away. I'm sorry. I took it too far. I'm sorry, Oyashiro-sama. You are a god as long as people worship you. Even though I may not worship you, you are still holy. I'm sorry for disrespecting you. Oyashiro-sama loves sweet food. You'll get cursed unless you offer something sweet for me. Tomitake couldn't help but smile. Takano also smiled. She bowed to me, promising to bring over some cream puffs soon. Takano finally stopped saying bad things about Oyashiro-sama. She also promised to bring me something sweet. Hanyuu was still upset, but she was probably satisfied for the moment. But I didn't know what she meant by the 3 fingers she was showing to me. Was she telling me to ask Takano for that too? Being her shrine maiden is not easy. Is she doing nothing to tell her to buy 3 of those ones as well? Bring 3 of them. Oyashiro-sama is saying that he wants at least 3 cream puffs. I just want to make it clear that it's not me asking for that. Sure, that sounds convincing. They took it as a joke I made to reduce the tension. Tomitake and Takano cracked up, holding their stomachs. Hanyuu was looking at them with surprise, not knowing why they were laughing. My face, meanwhile, was turning red with embarrassment. Fine, I'll get 3 delicious cream puffs for Oyashiro-sama. Should I get some for you and Sadako-chan, too? No, I don't need any. But there is something that I want to tell you. What is it? Since you let me inside the storehouse today, I'm willing to do anything for you now. Then, I want you to believe what I'm about to tell you now. Please don't ask me why or make fun of me. Please believe me in fate to save me. Both of them are surprised to see such a serious look on my face. I was sure they'd be surprised. After all, I was about to explain to them that they were going to die in 2 days. I'm sure they'd want to deny that. But I knew a fair bit about their deaths. If I could explain it to them in detail, they wouldn't be able to laugh it off. I talked to them about it several times in previous lives, but they never took it seriously. Only had that slight possibility that they might believe me. Hopefully the possibility is as small as a miracle. It should be engraved on the side of a die. My friends overcame their fates, and they all rolled a 6. Should I call that a miracle? Please, God, let me roll a 6 again. Please let them believe that death is upon them. Higurashi, when they cry, nearly an hour and 30 minutes. Irie turned the light on as soon as he finished his presentation. And that's where we're gonna save and call it recording, because freaking hell, like, I don't want the recording to go on too long to the point where, like, that potential for it going out of sync, I just, like, dread that happening, because that would be absolute bullshit. But yeah, I also uploaded the first part yesterday, as I'm recording, so that's part of the reason why I held off on this record session, because, like, now I said in the part before it, that's, like, I'd wait until, like, you know, at least that part recorded before uploading, so I waited until I started uploading for it to resume recording. But anyways, I'll see you next time, viewers. See you next time.